How to set financial boundaries with friends, family, money, and relationships. Two powerful forces that can either bring people closer or create invisible walls between them. Today we're diving into a topic that so many of us struggle with, but rarely talk about openly: how to set financial boundaries with friends and family. Whether it's lending money, splitting bills, or saying no without feeling guilty, this video will walk you through clear, practical ways to protect your wallet and your peace of mind. Now, if you've ever felt uncomfortable when a loved one asked for money, or if you've ever said yes when you really wanted to say no, you are definitely not alone. Financial boundaries aren't about being selfish. They're about ensuring that generosity doesn't drain you emotionally or financially. And by the end of this video, you'll have the tools to set limits with confidence without damaging your relationships. 1. Recognize why boundaries are important. Here's the thing: without boundaries, money can quickly become a breeding ground for resentment. Let's be honest, when you keep bailing someone out or footing the bill, it's not just the money that disappears, it's also trust, respect, and balance. Boundaries protect both sides. They prevent you from being taken advantage of, and they keep your loved ones from relying on you as their financial safety net. Imagine it like this: when you board a plane, the safety instructions always tell you to put your oxygen mask on first before helping others. Boundaries work the same way. You can't pour from an empty cup. Protecting your finances first means you're in a better position to help when it truly matters. 2. Know your limits. Boundaries are different for everyone. For some, it might mean never lending money to family. For others, it might mean lending only what they can afford to lose, without expectation of repayment. For some, it's simply setting rules around shared expenses like group trips, eating out, or holiday gifts. The first step is defining what feels comfortable for you. Ask yourself, what amount am I comfortable with? What situations trigger my financial stress? Where do I tend to overspend because I don't want to disappoint people? Once you know your limits, sticking to them becomes easier. 3. Communicate clearly. Here's the most uncomfortable part: actually saying no or setting a rule. But here's the truth: boundaries don't work if you keep them in your head. People can't read your mind, so you have to communicate them directly. And the key is to be firm but kind. Instead of long excuses, keep it short and respectful. For example, if a cousin asks to borrow money, you can say, "I'm not in a position to lend money right now, but I hope things work out for you." Or if friends invite you on a trip that's out of your budget, try, "Thanks for inviting me, but that's not something I can do this time. Let's plan something smaller soon." Remember, clarity prevents conflict. How to actually set these boundaries without feeling guilty or damaging your relationships. The first step is being clear on your own financial priorities. You can't communicate boundaries if you don't know them yourself. Take some time to look at your income, your savings goals, your debts, and your monthly expenses. Once you're confident about what you can realistically afford, it becomes much easier to explain to others where you stand. For example, maybe you decide in advance, "I'm willing to help family with emergencies, but I'll only give what I can without touching my rent, savings, or retirement." Or maybe your rule is, "I don't lend money to friends, but I'm happy to buy groceries or contribute in another way." These guidelines give you a foundation to stand on. The second step is communicating your boundaries early and calmly. You don't want to wait until emotions are high. If your cousin always asks for cash, it's better to have an honest talk when you're both in a good mood, rather than waiting until they call you in desperation. You can say something like, "I've looked at my budget, and I can't afford to give out loans, but I'm always here to talk through options with you." This shows care without crossing your limits. Now, I know this can feel uncomfortable. Many of us worry about being seen as selfish or uncaring. But remember, boundaries are not walls, they are guidelines for healthy connection. If someone reacts badly to you setting limits, that often says more about their expectations than about your generosity. Another important strategy is to offer alternatives. Instead of just saying no, suggest something else. If a friend asks to borrow money for bills, you might say, "I can't lend cash right now, but I can help you brainstorm ways to cut expenses or find extra income." Or if a sibling wants you to co-sign a loan, you might say, "That's not something I'm comfortable with, but I can help you review your credit options." By doing this, you're showing support without putting your own financial health at risk. Let's also talk about recurring expenses. Sometimes boundaries aren't about one-time asks, but about ongoing expectations, like always being the one to pay for dinner, contribute to group trips, or cover family gatherings. If that's draining your wallet, it's time to speak up. A simple, respectful approach could be, "I love spending time together, but my budget can't always cover big outings. Can we plan something fun that's more affordable?" This way, you're not rejecting the relationship, you're suggesting a healthier balance. Now here's the truth, boundaries need consistency. If you give in once after setting a limit, people may assume your boundary isn't real. That's why it's so important to stick with it, even when it feels tough. Over time, those around you will learn to respect your stance. Another key thing to remember is that not everyone is going to respect your financial boundaries right away. Some friends or family members may test your limits, either intentionally or unintentionally. They might guilt trip you, try to remind you of all the times they helped you in the past, or even call you selfish for saying no. In these moments, stay grounded in your why. Remind yourself that your financial health, goals, and peace of mind matter just as much as anyone else's. Boundaries are not meant to cut people off. They're meant to make your relationship stronger and healthier. If a loved one only values you for what you can give financially, that's not a balanced relationship. It's a transactional one. By being firm, consistent, and kind, you'll attract more respect and set a tone that shows people they can't just take advantage of you. Also, it's worth pointing out that financial boundaries aren't just about saying no, they're also about saying yes in a structured, sustainable way. For instance, you might have a family member you genuinely want to help from time to time. Instead of leaving it open-ended, decide ahead of time what you can give. Maybe you choose to contribute a fixed amount each month to support your parents, or you budget a small yearly amount for unexpected family needs. This way, you're helping without sacrificing your entire financial future. Another strategy is practicing non-financial generosity. A lot of people ask for money because they think it's the only way you can help. But sometimes your time, skills, or connections are even more valuable. Instead of giving your cousin cash for his small business, maybe you can help him design a free website or connect him with someone in your network. Instead of lending a friend money for rent, you can help them draft a budget, apply for assistance programs, or brainstorm side hustles. These kinds of support still show you care without putting your finances at risk. Remember, setting financial boundaries also helps you lead by example. When your friends and family see you saving, investing, and being disciplined, it inspires them to do the same. You're not just protecting yourself, you're modeling financial responsibility for others. And sometimes, that's the greatest gift you can give. Financial boundaries are not about being cold, selfish, or unkind. They're about protecting your peace, your future, and your relationships. If you don't respect your own limits, no one else will. Start small, be clear, stay consistent, and over time, you'll notice how much lighter and freer you feel. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What's one financial boundary you need to set in your life right now? Drop it in the comments below. And if you found this video valuable, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss more money and mindset tips like this. Your financial future depends on the choices you make today,